Buckle up. These are the 56 most unhinged entitled Christmas-destroying complaints ever made by actual Americans who somehow walk among us. We're talking people who called the police because their neighbor's lights blinked offbeat, demanded a refund because their rotisserie chicken didn't come with a tiny Santa hat, tried to sue a grocery store because their ham arrived pre-cooked, and one absolute menace who actually filed a complaint with the North Pole Chamber of Commerce because Santa's sleigh didn't have backup cameras. If you think Black Friday brings chaos, wait until you mix eggnog, elf surveillance, and people who think Amazon works for Santa. Smash that like button if you've ever met someone this unhinged. Comment your wildest holiday Karen moment. And subscribe right now because I'm dropping ridiculous complaint videos every week. Let's push this to 1 million views before Christmas. Ready? Let's ruin the holidays together. 1. An American shopper walked into a grocery store furious because the Christmas ham he ordered online arrived already cooked. He explained that he wanted to cook it himself after Christmas as a tradition, even though he had never cooked a ham in his life. The employee tried to stay calm while the customer insisted the ham had ruined his entire holiday schedule. He demanded the store uncook the ham or provide instructions to reverse the cooking process. Other shoppers nearby tried not to laugh as he argued that the ham had stolen his festive joy. The manager offered a refund, which he rejected because he wanted justice, not money. He left loudly promising to file a serious report with the local news station. 2. An American mother marched up to the mall Santa booth complaining that Santa had asked her son what he wanted for Christmas, and the child froze and said something random instead of asking for an iPhone. She insisted Santa had failed his job by not guiding her son toward a more appropriate request. The Santa actor tried explaining that he could not suggest $1,000 gifts to every child. She said the moment had destroyed her holiday memories and demanded the mall reinstall her child for a redo. Other parents quietly stepped aside to avoid getting dragged into the argument. The manager offered a free printed photo, but she refused and said she would report the entire Santa team to corporate. She left warning everyone that this mall ruins Christmas. 3. An American customer contacted a Christmas tree delivery service furious because the tree that arrived at his house was too green. He said it looked alive, which he claimed was unacceptable for his home's holiday aesthetic. He wanted a tree that smelled like pine, but did not appear to be actively photosynthesizing. The delivery driver tried to explain that green was the natural color of a healthy tree. The customer insisted that the tree should have come in a more muted tone to match his minimalist decor. Neighbors watched him spin the tree around his porch while accusing it of being aggressively vibrant. The company offered to replace it, but he demanded compensation for emotional stress caused by excessive greenness. He ended the call promising to write a detailed public review. 4. An American family ordered a Christmas tree online and panicked when a cactus decorated with ornaments arrived instead. The father called customer service explaining that the cactus had sharp spikes and posed a threat to the holiday spirit. The representative tried to assure him it was likely a warehouse mistake. The mother insisted the cactus had an evil look as it stood in the living room judging their traditions. The kids asked if this meant Santa was allergic to their house. The father demanded the company remove the cactus immediately because he refused to touch a plant that fought back. A delivery worker picked it up while holding towels for protection. The father said this incident ruined the purity of Christmas and vowed never to shop online again. 5. A Starbucks customer stormed into the store complaining that her peppermint mocha did not come with a reindeer-shaped marshmallow. She claimed it was supposed to be part of the holiday magic, even though it had never been on the menu. The barista calmly explained that the drink only came with whipped cream. She insisted she had seen a photo of a reindeer marshmallow online and that Starbucks had misled her. Other customers tried to avoid eye contact, while she argued that her entire morning had collapsed. The manager offered a replacement drink, but she said the disappointment could not be fixed. She left warning everyone that the holiday spirit had died inside the store. The barista later laughed and said, "This was the funniest complaint of the week." 6. An American homeowner filed a complaint with his neighborhood association because his neighbor's inflatable Santa was staring directly into his bedroom window. He said the inflatable expression felt judgmental and made him uncomfortable at night. The HOA representative visited the home and found Santa gently wobbling in the wind with a harmless smile. The homeowner insisted the Santa moved on its own and followed him with its eyes. The neighbor tried to explain that the inflatable had been in the same spot for 3 years. The homeowner demanded the HOA enforce a privacy rule for holiday decorations. The representative suggested closing the blinds, but he said that was a violation of his freedom. He left the meeting convinced the inflatable was targeting him personally. 7. An American architect became outraged when his gingerbread house kit included uneven roof shingles. He explained to the store employee that as a professional architect, he could not tolerate structural flaws even in edible form. The employee tried to reassure him that the kit was meant for fun, not construction accuracy. He insisted the crooked pieces were a safety hazard for imaginary gingerbread residents. Shoppers watched him lay out the candy parts like a blueprint while lecturing about proper load distribution. The employee offered a new kit, but he refused because he had already identified at least 10 design violations. He left saying he would write a formal report to the manufacturer. He claimed he had never witnessed such architectural disrespect during the holidays. 8. An American family discovered their elf on the shelf passed out in the nativity scene after apparently falling into a small glass of leftover wine. The mother called the store where they purchased it, claiming the elf had a defective sense of responsibility. The employee tried not to laugh while explaining the elf was just a toy. The father insisted the elf set a bad example for the children who now believed elves could party without consequences. One child asked if the elf needed rehab, which made the mother more upset. The store offered a replacement, but the father said the emotional damage had already occurred. They placed the elf in timeout above the fridge. The mother ended the day saying Christmas was becoming unmanageable. 9. An American Prime member called Amazon customer support, furious because his package marked for delivery by December 24 arrived at 11:58 that night. He declared this was emotional damage because he had to wait nearly the entire day. The representative apologized and explained that the package still arrived on time. He insisted 2 minutes of remaining Christmas Eve was unacceptable. He said he had been staring at his window since morning waiting for the truck. Neighbors later said they saw him pacing up and down the driveway like he was guarding the North Pole. The representative offered a small credit which he rejected. He ended the call saying Amazon had failed his holiday countdown. 10. An American father bought a 7-foot Christmas tree without measuring his ceiling, which was 6 feet 11. When he tried to stand the tree up, it wedged itself diagonally and scraped the ceiling. He blamed the store for not warning him that trees might be taller than ceilings. His wife suggested trimming the top, but he said that would destroy its artistic integrity. The kids watched as he tried rotating the tree repeatedly, hoping it would magically shrink. He called the store demanding instructions on how to safely reduce tree height without losing spiritual energy. The employee recommended a saw, which he refused. Eventually, he left the tree leaning in the corner. He said the house was too small to handle Christmas joy. 11. A middle-aged woman stormed into Target demanding help because the Stanley Christmas cup she wanted was sold out the moment she arrived. She claimed she had driven 40 minutes and rehearsed her victory photo pose only to find empty shelves. The employee apologized and explained the cups sold out within minutes. She insisted the store should have predicted her arrival and saved one for her because she was a loyal customer. Other shoppers watched her pace back and forth while talking about how this ruined her holiday theme aesthetic. The employee offered to check another location, but she refused and said she was too emotionally exhausted. She left saying Christmas had betrayed her and she would never forgive Target for the heartbreak. 12. A teenage boy shocked his parents after swallowing the tiny baby figure from their nativity set for the second year in a row. He said it slipped while he was rearranging the pieces. His mother called urgent care, asking if there were side effects of consuming holiday symbolism. The nurse tried to stay professional while explaining the figure would pass naturally. The boy's father joked that maybe this was his son's new Christmas tradition, which made the mother panic even more. She marched to the store demanding a nativity set with a larger baby. The employee suggested keeping the display out of reach. She refused and said Christmas decorations should be safe for all ages. The boy promised he would avoid eating the next one. 13. A retired man returned a sweater he bought online because the color called festive red looked too similar to blood red inside his bathroom lighting. He told the cashier the sweater gave off dangerous vibes. The cashier tried to explain the lighting at home could change the shade, but he insisted the sweater was intentionally misleading. Shoppers walking by heard him talking about color betrayal. The cashier offered an exchange, yet he wanted compensation for emotional shock caused by aggressive redness. He claimed his bathroom mirror showed the truth of holiday deception. The cashier remained patient while he inspected several sweaters under different lights. He eventually chose a green one and left, saying his trust in online shopping needed recovery. 14. A young father panicked when he discovered the neighborhood Christmas lights were synced to a Brenda Lee song instead of the Wham tune he preferred. He contacted the event organizer demanding a switch because he said the entire street deserved modern emotional holiday energy. The organizer explained the playlist was chosen weeks in advance. He paced around recording videos for social media, saying the neighborhood had chosen the wrong soundtrack for December. Neighbors peeked outside as he argued that his holiday mood depended on the correct musical choice. The organizer offered to change the song the next night, yet he wanted an immediate adjustment. He eventually walked home upset, saying he would host his own light show with proper music. 15. A college student opened her Christmas gift expecting AirPods and instead found a box filled with air-fried corn pods from a cooking prank brand. She immediately called the store, claiming she had been tricked by a cruel holiday scam. The employee explained the packaging clearly stated the joke product. She said no one reads packaging during Christmas because emotions run high. Roommates watched her hold up the corn pods like failed dreams. The employee offered a return, yet she insisted the disappointment required a personal apology from the brand. She promised to post a cautionary review for all holiday shoppers. She finally calmed down and ordered real headphones. She ended her rant by saying Christmas was testing her patience. 16. A grocery store worker listened to an angry customer complain that his Christmas bonus came in the form of a $10 coffee gift card, despite the fact he did not drink coffee. He told everyone within earshot that this was the most offensive holiday gesture ever. The manager tried explaining that the gift cards were chosen in bulk. The customer demanded a new bonus reflecting his personal beverage preferences. Other shoppers looked amused as he described the emotional sting of receiving something he would never use. The manager offered store credit, which he rejected. He declared he would donate the card as a symbol of his suffering. He left loudly predicting that next year would bring even more disappointment. 17. A young woman stared at her elf on the shelf with irritation after noticing it seemed to judge her every time she ate one of the cookies saved for Christmas Eve. She called the store where she bought the elf, claiming it created unnecessary guilt. The employee reminded her the elf was designed to watch behavior. She said the elf made her feel like she was breaking holiday laws. Her brother laughed and moved the elf closer, which made her even more frustrated. She demanded instructions on how to disable the elf's imaginary authority. The employee suggested placing it in another room, yet she insisted that would be avoidance, not resolution. She ended the call saying the elf had destroyed her snack freedom. 18. A restaurant worker tried not to laugh when a man complained that his Walmart rotisserie chicken did not come with a tiny Santa hat. He said festive poultry presentation was part of his tradition. The worker explained Walmart did not offer decorative hats for chickens. He insisted Christmas meals should carry visual joy. People in line whispered while watching him point at the chicken box like it had insulted him personally. The worker offered seasonal stickers, yet he refused because he wanted authenticity. He walked out saying he would craft his own chicken hat, but the emotional damage was done. He promised to contact Walmart headquarters to suggest mandatory holiday accessories for all future chicken products. 19. A woman grew furious after discovering her spouse had bought himself a new car even though they had agreed on no gifts for Christmas. She paced around the dealership claiming this was a betrayal of holiday honesty. The salesperson tried to stay neutral as she demanded the car be returned until further family discussion. Her husband explained he thought the rule applied only to small gifts. She called this a manipulation of Christmas vocabulary. Other customers watched uncomfortably as she lectured him about gift balance. The dealership manager offered to delay the paperwork, yet she insisted the emotional breach was larger than the car itself. She left saying, "Trust must now be rebuilt before the next holiday season." 20. A teenage girl complained to her parents that the Christmas lights outside their house blinked too cheerfully. She said they needed moody, introspective lighting to match her seasonal playlist. Her father tried adjusting the blink speed, yet she said the lights still looked too happy. Her mother reminded her Christmas was meant to be joyful. She disagreed and said the neighborhood misunderstood emotional depth. Neighbors noticed her sitting on the porch, staring at the lights like she was critiquing a movie scene. Her father eventually switched the lights to a slower pattern, which she accepted reluctantly. She walked inside saying the house finally matched her artistic vision. Her parents sighed and promised next year would involve simpler lights. 21. A delivery driver stood confused when a man opened his package expecting 1,000 Christmas lights and instead received 1,000 bright green limes. The man insisted this was a personal attack on his holiday spirit. The driver explained he only delivered what the warehouse packed. The man marched through his kitchen shouting about fruit sabotage. His wife tried calming him, yet he claimed the limes were mocking him. He demanded the delivery driver take them back, which was not allowed. Neighbors later watched him roll a few limes down the driveway in frustration. Customer service finally arranged a replacement, but he refused to return the limes because they reminded him of seasonal betrayal. He ended the night searching lemon recipes. 22. A grandmother visited her local church complaining that the nativity scene outside featured 3 wise men, but only 2 gifts. She said the missing present changed the entire story. The volunteer explained that one box had blown away in the wind the night before. She insisted the incomplete display confused children about holiday history. The volunteer offered to replace the missing box, yet she continued lecturing about biblical accuracy. People passing by listened with growing amusement as she described the emotional distress caused by a missing decorative prop. The volunteer smiled and promised to secure all presents better. She finally nodded and walked away, saying she hoped the wise men would learn responsibility by next year. 23. A young man tried returning a pair of socks his grandmother knitted because each sock had individual toes and made his feet look like reindeer hooves. He explained to the store clerk that he could not emotionally handle footwear with so much personality. The clerk reminded him the socks were handmade and not purchased from the store. He insisted the store should still help him process the trauma. Other shoppers laughed quietly as he demonstrated how the socks wiggled when he walked. The clerk apologized but said there was nothing to exchange. He left saying he would hide the socks deep in his closet. Hours later, his grandmother asked if he liked them, and he nervously said they were unforgettable. 24. A woman stood at the customer service counter holding a gift card valued at $24.99 and claimed the missing 1 cent was a personal insult. The employee tried explaining that the amount depended on the purchaser. She insisted the uneven number symbolized disrespect. People behind her waited patiently while she described how the lost penny ruined her Christmas balance. The employee offered to add a penny from the register, yet she refused because that would not correct the intention behind the original purchase. The manager approached and reassured her that the gift was still valuable. She finally accepted the card but said she needed time to recover from the emotional imbalance. 25. A group of children stood outside their yard upset because their snowman melted overnight and their father renamed the puddle the snowman. One child accused the son of attacking their creation. Their mother suggested building another one, but they insisted the first snowman had a personality that could not be replaced. A neighbor passing by offered a bag of fresh snow from their own yard, which caused the kids to argue about material authenticity. The father tried shaping the puddle into a new form which only made the situation funnier. Eventually, the children agreed to build another snowman but claimed it would never match the original. They held a short farewell ceremony for the puddle before moving on. 26. A mail carrier looked confused when a homeowner reported him to the Homeowners Association for saying Merry Christmas during delivery. The homeowner claimed this greeting counted as a holiday-related microaggression. The association representative arrived to investigate and found the complaint unusual. The mail carrier explained he simply wished everyone a pleasant holiday season. The homeowner insisted professionalism required seasonal neutrality. Neighbors gathered as the discussion grew increasingly ridiculous. The representative finally decided no rule had been broken. The homeowner walked inside grumbling that nobody respected his boundaries. The mail carrier shrugged and continued his route. Several neighbors later greeted him with cheerful Christmas wishes to show support. 27. A gardener watched in disbelief as her Christmas cactus bloomed in early November. She immediately drove to the nursery demanding an explanation for such premature festivity. The employee explained that holiday cacti sometimes bloom earlier, depending on temperature and light. She insisted the plant's schedule had disrupted her entire seasonal mood plan. Other customers listened as she described the emotional chaos caused by an early flower. The employee suggested adjusting the plant's light exposure to delay future blooms. She refused and said the plant needed counseling, not care instructions. She left with the cactus still blooming brightly. Her family later joked that the plant was simply excited for Christmas. 28. A music teacher grew frustrated when her smart Christmas tree kept making sarcastic comments through its connected speaker system. She said the tree roasted her ornament choices and criticized her tinsel placement. The support agent explained that certain smart features created humorous interactions. She insisted a tree should not undermine its owner. Friends visiting the house laughed as the tree complimented guests, but judged her decorating rhythm. She demanded instructions on returning the tree to a respectful setting. The agent suggested disabling the voice feature, which she eventually agreed to do. She unplugged the tree and said Christmas needed less technology and more peace. Her students later asked if the tree ever apologized. 29. A little boy opened a present expecting peace on earth because he wrote it on his Christmas list. Instead, he received a junior drum set from his enthusiastic uncle. The boy immediately complained that the world clearly ignored his wish. His parents tried to encourage him to appreciate the gift. He said the drums were too loud for a peaceful mission. The uncle demonstrated a quick beat, which made the boy cover his ears dramatically. Neighbors heard the noise and smiled at the chaos. The boy eventually tapped the drums quietly, yet continued mentioning that the earth still felt unsettled. He placed the drumsticks down and said he would try wishing again next year. 30. A cashier tried staying patient while a man complained that his eggnog tasted strange, only to discover the expiration date listed last Christmas. The man held the container like it had betrayed him. The cashier apologized and offered a refund. He insisted the emotional shock outweighed the monetary value. Customers nearby listened as he gave a dramatic speech about trusting holiday beverages. The manager checked the shelf to ensure no other expired cartons remained. The man accepted the refund but continued discussing the trauma of outdated dairy. He left the store vowing to inspect every holiday drink with extreme caution. His wife later said she would check the date on everything he bought for the next month. 31. A high school teacher called a drone company after discovering her new mistletoe drone followed her around the house nonstop. She said the drone hovered above her head every time she walked into a room, which made her feel hunted by holiday romance. The customer service agent explained the drone was designed to track movement. She insisted it was invading her personal space. Her husband tried to grab it, but the drone floated away politely as if refusing capture. Their dog barked every time the drone lowered itself, which caused more chaos. The agent suggested turning it off, yet she said the switch only made it blink at her. She returned the drone and asked for technology-free decorations next time. 32. A rideshare passenger left a long complaint because his Uber driver played non-denominational holiday music instead of classic singers he preferred. He said the car playlist lacked emotional warmth. The driver explained he played neutral music to avoid offending anyone. The passenger argued that December required tradition. When they reached the destination, he recorded a dramatic voice note describing the musical disappointment. Friends later joked that he needed his own holiday soundtrack app. The driver received the complaint notification and replied politely. The passenger insisted he would bring his own speaker next time. He ended the review saying Christmas music had to meet a certain standard for his spirit to function. 33. A woman at a bakery refused to accept her fruitcake because the Best Buy sticker showed the year 2018. The employee explained it was a printing mistake. She said the outdated label made her feel like she was holding an antique. Other customers tried not to laugh while she inspected the cake like it belonged in a museum. The employee offered a fresh one, yet she insisted the emotional shock was already complete. She asked for written confirmation that the bakery supported modern baking practices. Her husband suggested choosing another dessert. She refused and walked out, explaining she needed time to rebuild trust. Neighbors later saw her baking cookies at home to avoid further drama. 34. A firefighter received a call from a homeowner who claimed Santa was stuck in his chimney, according to the holiday tracking app he used. The firefighter tried to explain the app was for entertainment. The homeowner insisted the app showed Santa in distress. Neighbors watched as the fire crew inspected the chimney. A squirrel ran out, which caused the homeowner to panic. The crew confirmed no one was trapped. The homeowner apologized, yet continued checking the app repeatedly. The children found the entire situation hilarious. The firefighter later said this was the most festive false alarm of the season. The homeowner promised to rely less on phone apps for emergency decisions. 35. A school counselor listened to a mother complaining that her child's elf report claimed the child shared toys. She said sharing was not part of the child's holiday identity. The counselor tried explaining that sharing was positive behavior. The mother argued the elf exaggerated. Teachers observed her flipping through the report like it was a legal document. She demanded the elf be retrained. The counselor suggested focusing on the child's kindness. She refused and said the elf must follow accurate guidelines. She left muttering that holiday surveillance was out of control. The child later told friends that the elf took its job too seriously. 36. A couple returned a set of flameless candles because they somehow burned a small mark on their table. They insisted the candles had defied science. The store clerk examined the candles and explained a nearby lamp might have heated them. They disagreed and said the candles possessed hidden flame energy. Other shoppers listened to the debate with curiosity. The manager offered store credit, which they accepted, yet continued warning everyone about dangerous flameless candles. They left saying they would switch to traditional lights. Their neighbor later asked how a flameless product caused fire talk. The couple continued sharing the story proudly. 37. A man panicked when his snow globe leaked across his living room, creating what he called a winter wonderland crime scene. He brought the globe back to the store, describing in great detail how the water spread across his carpet. The employee offered a replacement globe. He insisted the emotional mess deserved an upgrade. Other customers laughed softly as he used diagrams to show the flow pattern of the spill. The employee explained that globes sometimes crack. He asked for future snow globes to be tested under pressure. The store manager offered a small discount. He accepted, but continued talking about the incident long after leaving the building. 38. A college athlete wore his new Christmas sweater to practice, only to discover it flashed bright lights spelling, "I am the reason Santa has a naughty list." His teammates laughed until he grew embarrassed. He tried returning the sweater, explaining it disrupted team focus. The cashier said the sweater was designed for humor. He insisted the message damaged his reputation. Other customers enjoyed watching him demonstrate the flashing pattern. The cashier offered a plain sweater in exchange. He accepted and left quickly. His teammates later asked where the sweater went. He said it needed time away from public attention. 39. A homeowner filed a complaint with his neighborhood group after his neighbor's inflatable snowman blocked part of his sunset view. He said the snowman changed the evening atmosphere. The neighbor explained the snowman was part of their yearly tradition. Other neighbors gathered to see the situation. The homeowner claimed the snowman also made a faint whooshing sound which disrupted his meditation. The group leader suggested moving the snowman slightly. The neighbor agreed and shifted it a few feet. The homeowner still acted unsure, yet eventually accepted the compromise. He later told friends the winter figure had challenged his peace. 40. A teenage boy wrote a letter to his parents saying he wanted the newest phone model, or he would dramatically lose hope. His parents laughed and reminded him Christmas had limits. He insisted the request reflected his future success. They suggested saving money. He said saving would take too long. His sister teased him and said Santa had already delivered socks. He complained that his dreams were shrinking. His parents gave him a smaller gift, which he opened with mild disappointment. He later admitted he may have exaggerated his feelings. His father joked that dramatic letters made the season entertaining. 41. A local parade volunteer nearly laughed when a father complained that the reindeer walking in the Christmas parade had 4 legs instead of flying above the crowd. He said the parade promoted unrealistic holiday standards by showing grounded reindeer. The volunteer explained that real reindeer could not fly. The father insisted children deserved accurate holiday magic. Other parents watched as he debated the biology of mythical creatures. The volunteer offered to seat his family closer to the front. He said that did not fix the disappointment. When the parade ended, he walked home explaining the holiday spirit had taken a measurable hit. His kids later asked why their dad argued with the reindeer team. 42. A woman stood at the returns counter holding a Christmas stocking and claimed she needed a refund because the stocking had not been hung by the chimney with care. She said the store was responsible for product performance. The clerk asked how the stocking failed. She explained it arrived folded in the bag, which meant it did not follow the traditional placement rules. The clerk tried not to laugh as she demonstrated proper chimney positioning. Other customers watched her carefully inspect the stocking loop. The manager offered to exchange it. She refused and said the store needed to respect classic holiday standards. She left promising to teach others the importance of proper stocking handling. 43. A man sat at his dining table staring at the fruitcake brought by his in-laws and demanded a receipt when they handed it over. He said no one should serve food without proof of origin. His wife covered her face in embarrassment. The in-laws explained it was homemade. He insisted homemade items still required documented authenticity. The family tried to continue the evening, but he kept examining the fruitcake as if it were suspicious. His mother-in-law offered to cut a slice. He declined and said he needed complete trust before tasting holiday desserts. He eventually placed the fruitcake in the fridge and said he would evaluate it after consulting online reviews. 44. A hardware store employee watched as a man walked in carrying a Christmas tree, leaning at an extreme angle because the stand had broken. The man claimed the tree had ruined his living room symmetry. The employee asked if he wanted a new stand. The man said the tree had already humiliated the family by tilting like the Tower of Pisa. Other shoppers smiled as he described the tree losing its dignity. The employee recommended securing the trunk more tightly. The man insisted the tree had shifted on purpose. He eventually bought a heavy stand, yet continued talking about the emotional imbalance caused by the tilt. His family later laughed when he tried repositioning the tree with extreme precision. 45. A young woman unwrapped her Christmas gift and sighed when she found socks from her own sock of the month subscription. She said she never wanted a reminder of a service she already paid for. Her brother insisted it was a thoughtful gesture. She disagreed and called it a recycling of ideas. Her father laughed and said socks were practical. She said practicality was not the point of Christmas. She attempted to return the socks at a department store. The clerk explained they came from an external subscription. She complained that modern gifting lacked creativity. She walked out saying next year she would create a strict gift quality policy. Her brother later said he would gift her the same socks again. 46. An older man visited the mall Santa station shaking his head after Santa requested vaccination cards before allowing children onto his lap. He claimed the safety measure ruined the nostalgic spirit. The event coordinator explained the rule was part of a temporary health guideline. The man insisted children deserved unfiltered Christmas moments. Parents waiting in line listened as he described the old days when Santa only asked for wish lists. The coordinator offered to take a photo without lap seating. He refused and said holiday traditions should remain unchanged. He walked away muttering that modern times complicated everything. Santa later joked that he never expected to become part of documentation procedures. 47. A gardener tried not to panic when a group of deer showed up in her yard after her children sprinkled reindeer food, made of oats and glitter. She filmed the deer eating her bushes and called the store demanding compensation. The associate explained that deer often roam freely. She insisted the reindeer mix falsely advertised magical attraction. Neighbors came outside to watch the unexpected gathering. Her husband tried waving the deer away, yet they continued chewing. She said the bushes represented years of care. The associate suggested fencing the plants. She replied that fences ruined the spirit. The deer eventually left, leaving bits of glitter behind. She spent the evening sweeping and complaining about holiday wildlife. 48. A man became concerned while watching the Yule log video on his television because the fire animation displayed too many sparks. He called the streaming service and claimed the visual posed a psychological fire hazard. The agent explained it was only a looped video. He insisted the sparks created stress. His family tried to reassure him. He argued that holiday videos should promote peace, not tension. The agent suggested choosing a calmer fireplace version. He said switching videos would not fix his broken trust. He finally turned off the television and lit a scented candle instead. His wife later teased him about his fear of digital flames. 49. A smart speaker owner complained to the electronics store that her device greeted her with a ho-ho-ho in a British accent instead of sounding like a Midwestern Santa. She said the accent disrupted her family's traditional holiday atmosphere. The technician showed her the voice settings and explained how to adjust them. She insisted the device had chosen the accent on its own. Her children laughed whenever the speaker delivered festive reminders. She said the household needed consistency in holiday voices. The technician changed the setting, yet she remained uncertain. She left the store saying artificial intelligence needed to respect regional preferences. Her speaker later announced a weather alert in a cheerful tone. 50. A man grew frustrated when his Christmas lights timer malfunctioned and kept the lights on since July. He said the non-stop glow made his house look like a year-round holiday attraction. His neighbors teased him for having the earliest decorations in the country. He tried unplugging the lights, yet the timer continued flashing. The hardware store employee explained the device probably shorted. He demanded a refund and compensation for months of unwanted cheer. The employee offered a new timer, which he accepted reluctantly. When he returned home, he unplugged everything to ensure safety. His family joked that the house finally looked normal again. He vowed to keep holiday decorations simple next year. 51. A fitness trainer opened a Christmas gift from his sister and discovered a gym membership card even though he already worked at a gym. He said the present felt like an insult to his career. His sister insisted she wanted to support his healthy lifestyle. He told her that giving a trainer a gym membership was like giving a chef a frozen dinner. Their parents tried calming them as the argument grew funnier. He visited the gym listed on the card and asked if they accepted emotional refunds. The employee shrugged and suggested donating the membership. He returned home saying Christmas gifting needed stronger regulations. His sister later said she would get him relaxation coupons next year. 52. A police officer responded to a call from a man who said his Christmas lights blinked out of sync with his neighbor's display. The officer arrived expecting an electrical issue and instead found the man pointing at the lights like it was a crime scene. He explained that the blinking pattern created visual discomfort. The officer remained calm and told him no laws regulated light rhythm. The neighbor stepped outside confused. The officer handed the man a candy cane to ease his frustration. The man insisted the neighborhood standards were collapsing. The officer reassured him the holiday season would survive. The man later told friends he had fought for decorative justice. 53. A young couple woke up Christmas morning and discovered their carefully wrapped presents had been replaced with a stack of bills. The husband explained he did it as a joke to highlight financial responsibility. His wife looked unimpressed. She said Christmas was not the time for adult realism. Their family arrived and laughed at the dramatic reveal. The husband tried to defend his idea by calling it motivational gifting. His wife suggested he should try comedy classes before attempting another holiday stunt. They both spent the morning sorting the bills. Eventually, he retrieved the real gifts from a closet. His wife accepted them, yet said the memory of holiday responsibility would stay forever. 54. A father opened a box of matching family Christmas pajamas and noticed his set had the word naughty printed on the shirt. He said the label felt inappropriate for his parental role. His wife insisted the design was playful. He argued that walking around the house labeled naughty made him feel misunderstood. Their children laughed and took pictures, which made him more embarrassed. He tried exchanging the pajamas at a clothing store. The employee explained holiday sets came pre-packed. He accepted the explanation, yet said the situation required emotional recovery. At home, he wore a plain shirt instead. His kids later teased him, saying his outfit lacked holiday spirit. 55. A store clerk listened to a woman who claimed she had filed a serious complaint with the North Pole Chamber of Commerce because Santa's sleigh lacked backup cameras. She said safety standards applied to magical transportation. The clerk tried not to smile while explaining the North Pole did not respond to customer filings. She insisted her concern was legitimate. Other shoppers gathered as she described wanting Santa to meet modern driving expectations. The clerk offered a decorative sleigh ornament. She accepted it, but said it did not solve the larger issue. She left determined to continue her advocacy. Her family later asked how she planned to contact fictional authorities. 56. A high school senior complained that Christmas had lost its magic after realizing every gift he asked for required either endless shipping delays or back orders. He said the universe was ignoring him. His parents reminded him that supply issues happened. He paced around the living room, giving a dramatic monologue about lost holiday dreams. His younger brother offered him a candy cane, which he accepted with exaggerated sadness. They all laughed as he slowly recovered. His mom suggested focusing on the moments, not the purchases. He nodded and said he would try. Later that day, he received a small gift he had forgotten he wanted. He ended the evening saying maybe the holiday still had surprises. And there you have it, 56 of the wildest Christmas complaints ever created by people who somehow survive December every year. If even one of these made you laugh, hit that like button so hard it jingles. Drop your own crazy holiday story in the comments. And make sure you subscribe because Complainix is dropping non-stop chaos all season long. Let's push this video to 1 million views before Christmas and remind the world that no one complains harder than America during the holidays. Merry chaos to all, and I'll see you in the next meltdown.